Hey everybody, welcome to the real United States, and welcome to the United States National Arboretum. Now, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is an arboretum, which is a place for growing, nurturing, and cultivating trees. Now, you wouldn't think that a place for trees would be a wildly popular venue. But the fact of the matter is that the National Arboretum here in Washington, D.C. is insanely popular. We had a hard time even finding parking. We were actually parked on one of the side of the roads just so we could get out and film this for you. Now, the National Arboretum here in the United States is a 446-acre plot run by the United States Department of the Agricultural Research Division. And they do a lot of research here about tree propagation, tree growth, tree diseases, all kinds of things dealing with the health, welfare, and propagation of trees. And I suspect that this is the first of what may be numerous visits here to the National Arboretum so that we can share some of the highlights of this. There is a herb garden, there is a bonsai tree exhibit that we won't get to today, but hopefully we're going to do that in a future episode. The azaleas are in bloom. I don't know if we're going to get any footage of that because it's still spring. It would be nice to get that, but I don't know if we can. But what I wanted to come here today and show you was this feature behind me. And these are the Capitol columns. Now this is 24 columns. Well, it's 22 actually, because 2 of them got broken. But these columns were originally part of the east portico of the United States Capitol building. Now, when the original dome was replaced by the now huge cast iron dome, these columns looked way too small to support the weight. Apparently they weren't, but it just looked bad. So these columns were taken out from the east portico of the Capitol and replaced by another means of supporting the dome that looked more appropriate. So they're brought here and reassembled, constructed here in the Arboretum so that people could still come and enjoy them. Now they're a Corinthian style column. You can see very ornate caps on them. And they're quarried from local sandstone. I think it was the Akia, I'll put it on the screen here, quarry down in Virginia. So this is local sandstone. They're really quite pretty for as old as they are because they are part, I think, of the very original construction of the Capitol. And a lot of people come here, they're very photogenic. A lot of people come here to take pictures of them, have their picture taken in front of them. And it really doesn't have any significance other than we've preserved this piece of history in the United States that was part of our original Capitol building. And outside of that, they don't really have any significance. They're just out here in the middle of this huge field in the National Arboretum. But they are gorgeous and a big draw for a lot of people to come and see. So we came up here, and this actually is kind of surreal standing in amongst these columns. And I wanted to come up here and be right next to them to give you some kind of an idea of the scale of these. Now, they're not massive, I suppose, by the standards of a lot of the architectural features in the major public buildings here in Washington, D.C., but they're still pretty substantial pieces of sandstone, as you can see, as comparison to me, and I'm a fairly good-sized fellow. But it's I don't know, it's beautiful, but it's like I say, it's a little surreal having these columns with no other structure around it. But beautiful big columns, very nicely preserved even after all these years. Anyway, that was what I wanted to tell you about. I wanted to introduce you to the United States National Arboretum and show you these Capitol columns there. Bev, why don't you go ahead and zoom in and take a little close peek at them. See if we can get in a little tighter on some of the features of the headpieces. They're really quite elaborate, which was typical of the building style here in Washington, D.C. in that era, and you know, we still make things fairly elaborate. But certainly back in the late 18th, early 19th century, yeah, it was very Romanesque or very, very elaborate sort of features on these. And this entire venue is free. The entrance here and parking, everything is free if you can find parking here at the National Arboretum. So if you get a chance, it's certainly worth coming to see, although like I say, it's a lot busier than you would expect it to be. One of the features they also have here is they have an area with the 50 state trees that we're going to try and get to in a future episode and show you the trees each state has picked as their symbol of their state. So I'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Real United States at the National Arboretum in Washington, D.C. I hope you've enjoyed this short episode about the Capitol columns. I hope that you'll pick subscribe and come along for the adventure if you haven't already. If you got questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below. We love hearing from everybody. I try to get back to everybody I can, and as always, thank you for watching.